Morning.
RJ, how are you, sir?
I'm good, and you?
Not bad. Sending you greetings, and also my dog Bandit is here to greet you as well.
Nice.
And I like the Viridian green polo shirt you have on there. It's
Yeah, it was a special pick this morning.
So, dude, you completely crushed it with the Czapek Antarctique Passage du Drake in this Viridian green dial. It's first of all, congratulations! It's a super dope watch. Second
Thanks.
of all, you must be really pleased. Also, I think it's also an amazing demonstration that you have the capacity to create a limited edition at a higher price category, but also a completely different type of watch, and also a brand that could really also benefits tremendously from your communication ability. So tell us a little bit about this project, brother.
Well, first, thanks for having this chat, and good to see you again. So with Czapek, the story is quite interesting. I know Xavier de Roquemarel for quite a long time. Back in the day when I had a different business in collecting consumer data about watches, that was in 2012. I met with Xavier for the first time, and back then he was still working for, I think it was Ebel, the brand that hardly exists anymore today. And he was one of the guys that really believed in this data project that I was running, and we always kept in touch since. And at some point we stopped the data project because it was not feasible. And but we kept in touch. And when he started Czapek, I was also there, and we have always been in close touch. We have been covering them quite a bit on Fratello. But on a parallel, our managing editor Rob Nuts, he was also in touch with Czapek for a long time. I think even also before 2015, he was in touch with Xavier, and they meet up, I think, during Salon QP at some point. And Rob Nuts, he only joined Fratello in 2020, January 2020. And so it was interesting because he was already in touch, he was already talking to them, and we were also talking to Czapek, and especially with to Xavier. And it was one of the dreams of Rob to create a Czapek watch. And when the Antarctique came out, he was very, very impressed. And it was last year during Geneva Watch Days in August, so almost a year ago, that we were there together. So Rob and me and some others of the team, and Xavier as well. And I think there was a little twinkle in Rob's eyes, and he said, "Okay, let's make something special." And I think from that moment on, the discussions began. But it has been primarily something that Rob Nuts did for us, and together with the team, of course. It was a team effort with all the pictures and managing the whole project, and doing all the socials and the articles and so on. But Rob was in the lead, and I think he did a marvelous job. At first, to be totally honest with you, I was not sure about the green, despite me having a polo shirt in this color.
And that is the color of the year.
Yeah, and I thought for a watch, it's quite something, because we see green a lot in watches, and some people are then a bit turned away by it because you see it so often. But I think that's only because there's so many other watches. There's a reference to green. It's a bit like buying a television in the shop, right? If you go to a shop, you see all the televisions. You have so much to compare, and you just pick one. And I think it's the same with watches. If you see all the watches next to each other and all with the green dials, it becomes a bit too much, perhaps. But I think if you isolate the watch, whatever watch with a green dial, I think it's pretty nice to have something in a green dial. With this watch, the greens, like I said, I wasn't too convinced when I saw it, because I saw the mock-ups, I saw the prototype pictures and so on. And but Rob was so convinced that I said, "Rob, if you believe in this, you should do it. Then I'm convinced as well. It's your project, run it." And so he continued. And when he was here in The Hague at the headquarters to show us the watch, because he picked up the prototype a month or 2 months ago, I saw the watch in the flesh, and that changed it completely for me. Then I was so convinced, okay, this is really something, because the color changes. I think in sunlight it is as bright as my shirt, but if you look at it more up close, or in the different angles, or under office light, for example, it turns very, very dark green. So it changes color, which is very nice, and it has to do with the structure on the dial, I guess. And then because Rob is Irish, so there's green and there's a touch of orange. There's the orange tip at the second hand.
Right.
And actually, the people who pre-ordered this watch could make a choice. So either the hand with the orange tip, or a fully orange hand, or a steel hand. But looking at the orders, I noticed that most people picked the one with the orange tip or completely orange.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and perhaps that makes me very conservative, because if I would order it, it would be the full steel-colored hand. Yeah, here's a mock-up with the orange hand.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks very cool. Yeah, it's very bright. The other thing we did with this watch is the marker at 12 o'clock. So normally there's a 12 numeral, Arabic numeral, and we changed it to the claws basically. And this has my preference as well. It's a beautiful watch, and especially if you turn it around, I think the movement is just stunning.
I was blown away by the movement. Absolutely, it's just incredible looking, and the idea that you've got these cocks that are for every one of the wheels in the gear train is just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I find the movement really beautiful. It's really worth looking at it, and because often I write and I say that some watches I don't want to have with a display back, because I know a lot of these standard movements and so on, and I don't care anymore. But I think that also has to do where you are in collecting watches.
Right.
But this movement is just stunning. It's beautiful. I like a micro rotor, and it's really done in a nice way. And yeah, beautiful watch. So there's an option. There's the steel bracelet, as you saw in the pictures. There's also the rubber strap. I'm very much a fan of the stainless steel, and I have to say, having owned a couple of Royal Oaks, including the 15202 or extra thin or jumbo, this bracelet is really, really amazing. And I say this as a previous Royal Oak owner. This bracelet is really amazing. It's super comfortable. The finish is beautiful, and it just the design is incredible. So, yeah, beautiful watch. I think that's the reason why it sold out so quickly, because I think it is a beautiful watch. Czapek is a lovely brand. Very nice people as well. I think they do a really good job. And like you say, 20K including VAT, so it was 17,000 something excluding VAT. That's a lot of money. And if you would ask me 2 or 3 years ago, would you ever sell a 20K watch on Fratello? I don't think so. And I was amazed that so many people are able to decide in roughly 40 minutes.
39 minutes.
To shell out 20K on a watch. Yeah, it's really incredible. It's a beautiful watch. It's for us. It's not the way forward to only do like these 20K watches. I think we want to really tailor towards the audience. So there will be another project later on this year with a brand in a totally different price category, lower, just to be sure. And so we have some projects running, but this was really an amazing project. And in the end, while I was quite convinced that there was a lot of demand, and the reactions were very positive about this watch, it's still nerve-wracking. It's still sleepless night in advance. It's nerve-wracking. Then at 6 a.m. local time here, we went live. And the funny thing is, I never share my dreams, because often they are not to be shared. But it's 6 o'clock. I woke up in the morning, and I was so tired, I fell asleep again. And in my dream, I dreamed about this watch selling. So I dreamed about almost like real life, in real time, that we were selling this watch, and that there were only 4 left in stock. And then I woke up at 6:30, and there were still 3 in stock. So
wow.
That was amazing. Yeah, but yeah, it was amazing. So the whole project was really nice, and we had a good collaboration with Czapek. Very transparent discussions, very transparent way forward. And yeah, I think we got what we wanted with this beautiful watch. And I think for Czapek, it's also a very nice extra bit of awareness, I would say.
Actually, to be honest with you, I think it's probably the greatest communication project for them since the watch was launched, right? I mean, you've basically made the Antarctique like a super hot and desirable watch with your collaboration, And I think it's interesting too, because I think that there is now a much greater receptivity to other integrated bracelet watches. I mean, we're both Octo Finissimo fans, obviously, and Rob had mentioned that watch when he was doing his video. There's the Chopard Alpine Eagle, but there's quite a few out there. And I guess the question I would have for you, because it certainly seems to make sense to me, is do you think it's also because it's just gotten to a point where it's so impossible to buy 15202, or it's so impossible to buy 5711, that people are opening their minds, and then when they open their minds, they discover that these watches are actually really good?
I have to say, so like I said, I previously owned a couple of Royal Oaks, and in the end, I traded them all to finance my other hobby, which is collecting Speedmasters.
Nice.
But I agree. I sold mine with a good markup. But when I bought my first Royal Oak in 2007, I think I paid 5K for a 15300. And in 2009, I bought my Jumbo, my 15202, and I think I paid 7 or 7.5K euro. And at the time, that was the normal market price. But to me, that was already a lot of money for a stainless steel watch with two hands, basically.
Yes.
So I think things have gone crazy, and there's no way back, I guess, and that's the way it is. So there's little point in discussing this. But I've seen the prices today, and I think I sold my Jumbo a bit too early. But it has become very, very difficult to either purchase a Nautilus or a Royal Oak, for example. And I also see the Ingenieur, the original ones, they are also increasing quite a bit. I think from the 3 Genta models, I think the Ingenieur is still the most affordable one, and affordable between brackets. Very interesting, the 1832. But yeah, I also, like you, I like the Octo Finissimo, and especially I have a lot of respect for the bracelet, how they designed it and how it feels on the wrist and how it looks. And for me, if I would get into watches today, like I did 20 years ago, I think the Octo Finissimo would be my Royal Oak of today.
Right.
Because I think it's more. Yeah, exactly. I think it's more modern. It's more of now, basically. And yeah, beautiful watch. So to answer your question, I think you're right. I don't think it's really it's an alternative without being a budget alternative, so to speak. You don't have to compromise in terms of quality. You compromise in terms of a certain brand name on the dial.
Right.
And if you don't care about the label or the brand name on the dial, I think these alternatives like the Czapek or the Octo Finissimo or the Chopard Alpine Eagle, they're brilliant watches. And I think there's room for watches with an integrated bracelet. People say, oh, it's a Genta thing or a hype. But I don't think that's the case. I had a discussion a long time ago with Jorn Werdelin from Linde Werdelin, because their watches also reminds us of perhaps of the Royal Oak Offshore and Hublot and so on. And he told me once in the defense of his design, yeah, but if you want to draw a modern watch with an integrated bracelet, this is the only way, basically, because there's so many round watches. Nobody complains about round watches,
right.
But to make a modern sporty watch, an integrated bracelet is part of the design, I guess. Sorry for stuttering sometimes a bit, but yesterday evening I had my second vaccination, so it feels like I have a hangover.
Oh man, that messed me up for at least 3 days. It was like I had the hubris to go to spin class the next morning, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine." Then I sat down in front of the computer, and I was like about to do a Zoom with Chris Granger, and it hit me, and I was like, "Oh my god." Literally, I just took every ounce of energy to get through the interview, and then I just collapsed on the couch afterwards. So thank you for joining.
So perhaps I will do the same then. So no, it has been a pleasure, and I'm happy that you like to watch, and hopefully you will see it in the flesh at some point. I don't know if you go to Geneva Watch Days.
I'll be there.
Okay, then we'll see each other, and hopefully there's one of the prototypes there as well.
Amazing. RJ, have a lovely day. Congratulations on the success. Couldn't happen to a nicer person, so that's awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you. And wearing this, man.
Hey, all right, the Snoopy.
And it's a super nice watch, and I came home with it, and my wife and my daughter, they are in love with it as well. So I have to hold on to it very firmly, because otherwise it's snagged off my wrist. But especially my daughter, when I showed the lume in her when she went to bed the same day, in the bedroom, it was very dark, so I showed her the lume on this watch. That made her fall in love with this Snoopy watch.
Awesome.
It's a beautiful, beautiful watch. I really like it.
Thank you, brother. Well, have a great day. Feel better. And again, bravo. Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye-bye.